All right, I had one last question, Michael. So this is a ZipRecruiter question with a seamless experience from start to finish, just like this question. ZipRecruiter takes care of your recruiting. Right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/take. You went to a small college, Hall of Fame career. If you were playing right now with all the coronavirus and everything that's going on, where do you land with like college football trying to have a season? And I would imagine someone like yourself who had to prove it at, like a small college and then get a chance in the NFL and then take that chance and kick ass through it. Like, you don't get many opportunities if you're missing like your senior year at a small college. Where do you land on that?
That's tough, man. I just think if they had the right protocols, then of course I would love to play football. I think that's what it comes down to is how do you protect the safety of the players and the coaches and everyone else who's associated with the program, because you got to remember, these players, they're like, oh, the players are young, they'll get over it. Everybody's affected differently because there have been some young players who haven't gotten over it, some young athletes who've had heart conditions and other things that they're finding out that the virus can do. So for me, it would be a matter of how do you try to keep it as clean and virus-free as possible, but it's hard when you're on a college campus. As we see some of these kids going back to school now having parties, and the first time you're away from home and you're like, hey, mom and dad can't tell me anything, I'm getting out.
Yeah.
Then you get around people. So it would be very hard pressed for me not to play, especially if they could say these are the ways that we're trying to protect you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's where a lot of America is right now. There's still a lot of we don't know.
Right.
You know? Like
yeah,
there's so much uncertainty.
But then I do hate, though. I hate when people are like, oh, they just play football, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, because that's not your kid. You want to be entertained on a Saturday. You know, that's all you cared about is having college football. You're not really cared about the health of these guys, because if you did, when a guy blew his knee out, you can care about it. No, they just put another one in there and you keep moving.
Right.
So to me, it's about really protecting the health of these young players and even the health of the players in the NFL, because you see basketball's working, baseball's had some hiccups, hockey's working, but you can't put the NFL players in a bubble.
Right.
I mean, that would be absolutely insane.
Right.
So we'll see how it's going to shake out in college. We'll see how it's going to shake out in the pros, but I think it's going to be some challenge.
Yeah. Where do you see it going at the professional level? Because in my opinion, since they're not doing a true bubble, it's not if, it's when. It's a matter of time until like a team has an outbreak like we've seen in baseball. Then like two teams have an outbreak, and then then we've got weeks that are shut down. The schedule gets all messed up, and then the whole thing kind of crumbles at its base. Like, is there any way that you can think of outside of instituting like a mandatory like 3-city bubble or something to that nature?
Nah, you can't. I don't think you can do that. 'Cause too many players, too many families, too many of all that stuff. I think that with the NFL, you do have a week between games, so I think that may give you a little leeway. If I'm a guy who was on the bubble or I was in a camp, I'd stay in shape. And in some of these games, you may see that the backup center or the backup behind the backup starting. Who knows? Yeah. But I think the biggest effect will be if it happens when you get a major quarterback or player or a major coach who gets it, and like Doug Peterson already had it, to see how that affects the team. I think once we see that may change some opinions.
I actually have one last thing. I actually, thinking through everything that you've done, Hall of Fame, Super Bowl, America's Sweetheart, tolerates Jay Glazer. I think your number one legacy might be when dumb football fans like ourselves and every like idiot fan sitting at a bar across the country decides that they've figured out how to play defensive football by just saying, just get pressure with the front four. That's you guys. Like, that's like when they do like keys to the game, hit Tom Brady. It's like, yeah, that's pretty fucking easy. What? But that's what they're talking about. They're like, you just got to, pressure starts up front. Like, you got to win the line of scrimmage. The Giants did it.
Yeah, trust me, it's not that easy. I love that, man, because you're the first person in my life who's ever said that. It is not, get pressure with the front foot. That's what they got to do. Yeah. I've even been accused of saying that myself on Fox. It's hard. It's hard to do. It's 4 on 5, basically. So somebody's going to have to win a double team. You can't have any gap for the quarterback to step up. Your outside guys really got to, come from the out. It's like be tight. It's very coordinated to get pressure with 4 guys. And you have to have 4 unselfish guys out there. And to be honest with you, nowadays, you have to have a rotation because
it's true.
Guys get tired. You have to have a good rotation with backups who are just as good and can start in other places that just happen to be backups because on your team, they're like 1 and 1A.
Yeah.
So we found that formula with the Giants. Thank goodness we found it a few times, but it's hard. And that's why I think the second highest paid position in football is the defensive end behind the quarterback, because that's the only guy on the defensive side of the ball who can disrupt the quarterback in so many ways. So, yeah, get pressure with the front 4. Good luck with that.
And then if you're trying to win offensively, you gotta protect the quarterback.
Well, establish the run too.
Yeah, right.
Establish the run, get pressure with the front 4, and no mistakes on special teams.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, and I tell you what, man, when you're rolling like we were rolling, it's no better feeling than knowing lining up 4 guys, you can put 6 or 7. We're going to whip you. It doesn't matter. And to look at the guy across from you and you look him in the eye and you can tell he doesn't want to be there because he's confused, because he knows you can run around him, you can run underneath him, or you can run over him. That is the absolute best feeling because you can see the desire of a man, a soul leave a guy through his eyeballs.
Ooh,
I like that.
Yeah.
Also, just thank you for beating the Patriots that season, because the shit that America would have to deal with 19-0 Patriots fans, Patriots fans in Massachusetts, like probably 40% of the population would have 19-0 tattooed somewhere on their face or neck, like Tekashi 6ix9ine. It would be everywhere. So thank you for not making America deal with that.